So you've hopefully just watched our vlog from Thorpe Park Fright Nights. That was Fright Nights. As we said, we were going to get home, we're going to have a little sleep, which we did. We had to go to work, which was amazing. And then come back and give you a review on what we thought of the night. Now then, I think it's fair to say over the last couple of years that the Fright Nights event has felt a little bit stale in places. Big Top was a massive highlight last year, but when it came 2 years ago and it spread out across the beach and there was a break in the middle and it didn't really make any sense whatsoever. It wasn't very good. And accompanied with My Bloody Valentine, which people said was scary, and initially I thought it was, but towards the end it wasn't. And in Blair Witch, which first year was really, really dark, and then kind of wasn't very dark, and then there was a light bleed from the Darren Brown construction. It just wasn't very good at all. Last year we had Platform 15, which definitely wasn't great, and Cabin in the Woods sadly had run its course. So last couple of years, it's been good, but it's not been great. It's not been the high expectations we thought that Thorpe Park can produce. Now then, this year, completely different. And the more we think about it, the more fun we had, to be honest. We're going back for annual pass night on Monday. And we can't wait. We can't wait to get back in the mazes again. Now, there are obviously some highlights and there are obviously some things that could be improved in the future. So we're going to go in order 5 to 1, 5 being our least favourite maze and 1 being our favourite maze. And we'll give some explanations on the way of why we feel this. It's not going to agree with everyone. Some people are going to find things differently. Some people are going to find things more scary than others. So you'll just have to kind of, take it at kind of face value. But this is how we feel. So at the bottom of the list, we are going to have to place the Walking Dead Sanctum maze walkthrough experience. Not really sure what it was. Now, it wasn't amazing by any means, and the scenery wasn't great. There was some nice bits in there, but it kind of reused quite a lot of old props. The fire truck, which got blown up during the fireworks now, which, believe it or not, was 7, 8 years ago. I'm surprised the park still have that. And of course, the fire truck was then moved and used as a prop for the Swarm, where containment now sits. And it was obviously put back in storage again, has been brought back out for this maze. It's disappointing to see some of the old props kind of there. Whilst there are some new ones in there, it just lacked. It lacked scares, it lacked scenery, it lacks a storyline. The only bit at the time we said, there wasn't anything in there relating to The Walking Dead. Well, the actual final scene, I guess, when they're hanging over and they've got kind of a knife trying to chop people's head off, kind of related slightly to The Walking Dead. But that was the only bit. We were just a bit disappointed with it, Actors very good. Can't complain about anything like that, but as a general kind of scare experience, it felt probably on par with what Blair Witch had been the last few years, where there's a couple of moments, but not that great, which was a real shame. It was a real shame because we have enjoyed it. It's just not amazing. But that sadly goes in our 5th place. Now 4th place is Saw Alive, and this was really, really tight because Saw Alive has been at the park since 2010, hasn't changed a bit in that time. For people that came in the first couple of years of it being opened, it was open every day. So you could experience it as many times as you like. I remember on a quiet day once, we went through 10, 15 times just to get a real feel for it. And it hasn't changed. And, I think maybe, I say missed opportunity. I understand perhaps why they haven't done it this year because of the money they've put into The Walking Dead. But with a new film coming out, potential changes, upgrades to that, and even maybe Saw the Ride, wouldn't have gone astray. So Saw is kind of an old faithful. There are some little jumps in there. Most people know the maze now. Most mazes don't hang around for this long, and we understand it would be very difficult for the park to sort of remove it and completely retheme it, given the structure and how they've gone about it. But I think a few updates might be needed. It does feel a little bit stale, so it does a job, and it does look very nice. It was arguably one of the best themed mazes the park have had. But it's kind of, I feel it's reaching the end of its life, and maybe next year, maybe they're going to have to either kind of upgrade it slightly or change it to something else. So that's our 4th place. Now 3rd place, and this has been very difficult, but we're going to put the Big Top. Now the Big Top was amazing fun and was, the top 3, we have to say, for me, the top 3 were very, very close. But the Big Top's going in at number 3, and there's no negatives I can say about the Big Top, really. I've said before in the episodes, clowns do not scare me. So if there's a reason why this is in 3rd place, it's because clowns don't scare me. It's as simple as that. But there's nothing wrong with the maze. They've upgraded the beginning bit to a video editing of a lady rather than having a live actress or actor there, which I think is a great idea. One, it's cost cutting. 2, you get exactly the same experience. No one can talk over her. No one's going to give her any kind of mouthing back and ruining the experience for everyone because there's projection on the wall. So I thought that was brilliant. The strobe light effect in it is one of my favourite effects from any Halloween maze ever. The timing of it is perfect. The way the route takes round is perfect. Absolutely love it. Really, really love it. And you know, again, it goes in third place probably because of the clowns rather than, you know, the experience. The multiple rooms, the mirror maze, the different routes, and of course the ending, which is trademarks. If you don't know it, then we won't ruin it for you. But it's a really, really great maze. Really, no negatives to say about it whatsoever. Brilliant. But it sits in our third place. Now, we've had to have a little think about our second one, and our second one's going to go to platform 15. Now then, platform 15 this year, 1,000 times better than last year. Last year we really didn't enjoy it. We didn't have a lot of positivity to say about it. It definitely felt a real missed opportunity. This year, completely different. You know, it starts off very much the same. The story is very similar. You get to the sleepy carriage train, and it looks exactly the same. It's the old Thorpe Park train that used to go around Canada Creek. It's exactly the same location. It hasn't moved all year. It's still got the same fire effects, the same mannequins and everything on it, and the same kind of scenes there. But once you kind of pass that bit, you know, it's an eerie feeling, and it is great having the lake around it as well. Because when you incorporate the lights and the smoke, it just looks brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And now the next effect's been brought through, so the short walk is a lot better. There are a couple of actors there. They are there to kind of jump out on you slightly, but not in a massive, scary way. However, you then walk into a building, kind of a house area, and then there's scenes, there's rooms, and we had none of this last year. None of it was there. And there are people hiding behind doors. There are people in sort of behind the scenes that kind of come round, and it's a real step change into kind of scariness. And without a doubt, it is the most scary maze at Thorpe Park this year, in my view, the most scary maze. Once you're through all of this, you head to the Black Tunnel. The Black Tunnel was kind of a Black Tunnel of death last year. You kind of walk through. If you were lucky in the early days, you got the Ouija board and you got a bit of a story. As soon as they realised that wasn't practical for throughput, you had nothing till the end. Now, although the basis of the tunnel is exactly the same, you know, there are new sound effects, there are some smoke effects, and you know, the sounds are continuous as you walk through, and there's noises coming from all around you, left, right, above, absolutely everywhere, and it is really creepy. It's still really dark and really creepy, and at the end, all of a sudden, you'll come across the finale. The finale wasn't amazing, to be fair, but there were a couple of actors in there, and they did get in your face, and they do appear out of nothing, so just beware of that. But the maze, 1000% improved on last year. Don't miss it. If you think it's going to be the same as last year, don't think that. Don't miss the maze. It's worth going in. So our number one spot has to go to The Walking Dead, The Living Nightmare. Now then, it isn't the scariest maze by any means. Arguably Big Top was slightly scarier. We are massive Walking Dead fans, and there was so much in that maze that kind of grabbed our attention that we could recognise from the TV shows, and we could kind of recognise from various bits and pieces. But the opening scene alone is the reason why this is our number one maze. Now, if you don't follow The Walking Dead, you're not going to understand it, and you may think it's a complete waste of time. If you follow The Walking Dead, you will really appreciate it, and it's quite strange the way they get you to do it, and it's quite strange, you know, the actor, the speech is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant, so well put together. You know, the rest of the maze, again, does look very nice inside, looks very Walking Dead feel. It doesn't feel as cheap as, you know, some of the, perhaps even Cabin in the Woods, bear in mind that was an IP-based one, did feel a bit cheap in places. You know, this one doesn't. There seems to be a real route, a real purpose. You know, there's some nice strobe effects, there's some great scenery, there's some, you know, great kind of live acting in there. It kind of ticks all the boxes. It might be a bit short. You know, the opening scene kind of takes about a minute, and then you kind of through the maze then in about 3.5 minutes, so it might be a bit short, but the opening scene alone, brilliant. And they take a picture, and you'll see the picture at the end, and you'll understand why they take a picture as well, but you don't really realise at the time that's what they're doing. So that's it. That is our Fright Nights. Now, it's worth noting that we didn't get in containment. It broke down, so we didn't get inside a containment. We've been in there before. It's good fun. It's probably worth the £10, but we didn't get it this time. And the final cut wasn't showing in the cinema that night, but we're going to try and get back into that on Monday night. Monday coming. This should be online on Sunday, and we will give a review on the site about the final cut as well. We're expecting it to be clips from, they've done it before, from kind of horror movies and things with maybe a little bit of live action at the end. Other than that, the merchandise was on sale. You had hoodies, you had t-shirts, you had cups, pens, and various Walking Dead merchandise. So great selection if you want to kind of add to the bits and pieces, some pin badges as well. But yeah, that was Fright Nights. Well worth it, well worth it. Probably the best Fright Nights in many, many years since they introduced kind of the Cabin in the Woods and the Blair Witch and the My Bloody Valentine to the park. This is easily the best one since then. The Walking Dead maze, fantastic. The other Walking Dead maze, not so much, but you know, it should have quite a good throughput, so you shouldn't have to queue too long for it, hopefully. I hope you've enjoyed our time. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. We'll also be putting a Thorpe Park vlog up shortly as well. Check out our episodes. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Many, many more videos coming up. Many more from Halloween and many more coming over the closed season. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.